How's it going, Football Daily family, and welcome back to Sunday Vibes. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday and that yesterday's football was absolutely majestic. Fingers crossed, we're just shooting this on a Thursday. As you can tell, Patrick Van Straten's joined me, and a very, very smart Christopher Hamill has joined me as well.
Last week with the hat, so
First time for everything, mate. Let's kick it straight off with your questions then, and the first one comes from Wingman Akil. He says, which player do you think is too good for their current club? That's a great question, I think. And PVS,
great place to start.
I want you to lead us off.
Oh, look, I don't want to piss anyone off, but I think
First time for everything.
yeah, actually, I love pissing people off. So I think I'm going to go for Lukaku at Everton. Look, I really like Everton. I think Everton's a good club, but when Lukaku joined, he said, "I'll be here for a couple of years and then I'll probably move on." It's a good stepping stone to a bigger challenge.
Yeah, true.
And I think he's earned that bigger challenge now. This is a guy who's 23. He's certainly one of the best young strikers in the world. For all the criticism he gets for his touch or whatever, which I still don't really understand, the guy cannot stop scoring.
Yeah.
He's big and physical. He's decent with his back to goal. He's good in the air. He's incredible on the counter attack. It's rare you find a guy who's that big, but is also that fast. And I think he is an intelligent player. He'll carry on getting better.
Yeah, I would agree with you. That goal against Manchester City just proved it this season. I think when he absolutely rinsed Gael Clichy.
And last season when he's scoring half his team's goals, he can't go on. That's quite a too heavy a burden for such a young player to endure for too long.
I agree. I think he won't be at Goodison Park for much longer. Christoph, same question for you, mate. Who's too good for their current club?
Oh, I would have to probably go for an ex-Celt, Virgil van Dijk. I mean, there's obvious candidates like Payet at West Ham.
Yeah.
Di Maria at PSG, or maybe the whole PSG squad, Fraser Forster. But special affinity with Van Dijk. I think he's an absolute Rolls Royce of a player. A centre back who's got it all to his game. He's got the touch. He used to take free kicks at Celtic. Check out his goal against Hibernian. It is an absolute corker. But similar to what Lukaku said at Everton, when he signed a new 5-year contract at St Mary's, he said, "Yeah, I can see myself being here for a year, 2 years more." So I think it's very much in his mind that he wants to move on, mate, and he's been their standout player. Look at them against the likes of Inter Milan.
Player of the season last year as well. His first campaign with them, which is ridiculous.
He's definitely going to be one, especially with the amount of teams looking for centre halves. I'm going to go for a little bit of left field one. I agree with you on Payet. Payet is way too good for West Ham, but I'm going to have to go Antoine Griezmann. I think he's outgrown what Atletico Madrid can offer him at this stage. I think he could go to another club, he could get double the wages. I think it'll be testament to the fact that Simeone leaves, he'll leave immediately. That's the only reason he's still at that club. He can get better wages, he can have better players around him. I think a club like, he's probably not going to move to Real Madrid, but maybe even a club like Manchester City or Chelsea, he would be ridiculous at.
Does he revel in the responsibility of being point man in that system though?
I think he does to some extent, but I think we saw him in a France team that was packed with superstars, and he performed to an extremely high level.
He can play off the right, can play kind of at a number 10 role.
Exactly.
Like, he's capable of doing so many things so well.
I think going to a club with potentially more in the long term that they can offer him, I think is going to propel him to that real next level.
Cheddar.
Yeah, he's going to be a bad boy player, Griezmann, so he really is going to take it to the next level, I think, and maybe he'll be the player that gets up to Messi and Ronaldo's level when they eventually retire, I think. You never know though. What do you guys at home think? Who is too good for their current club? Let us know what you think in the comments right now. Our next question is about the Bundesliga, so get your Die Mannschaft knowledge ready. This one is from Tommy Bobdog. Hell of a name.
What a name. What a guy.
Such a good name. He says, do you really think that RB Leipzig can win the Bundesliga? Christopher Hamill, lead us off with some Euro Football Daily knowledge.
No pressure, mate.
Well, why not, mate? They've already scored 20 goals and only conceded 7 at this point. They have a very solid base.
Yeah.
And I like the way Hasenhüttl deploys a 4-2-2-2. They're absolutely fearless. Don't seem to have the same inferiority complex that Dortmund maybe have when it comes to Bayern. And I really like Naby Keita down the right hand side, Forsberg down the left. I think Berg is a hugely promising prospect. He's really effective when he's come on. He's already got a couple of assists this season, mate. Pato, what about you, mate? We did them on the Euro roundup a couple of weeks ago and we're both really impressed, weren't we?
Yeah, I think they're a great side, and they've got this incredibly young squad. A bunch of those guys arrived this summer, a new coach arrived this summer, and yet they're already second in the league. So you expect them to gel a bit more, and as that happens, they could even get better. I mean, their defence is unbelievable. They concede fewer shots per game than any team in the league except Bayern. But really, the question is, how good are Bayern? here.
Yeah.
I think that they've shown this season. There have been a couple of times where they've looked a little bit vulnerable.
A couple of draws, yeah.
It's quite a radical shift from a Guardiola system to an Ancelotti one. So if they aren't quite clicking, then Leipzig are absolutely in the hunt. I think.
I'm going to have to disagree. I think that RB Leipzig, they've started fantastically well, but a couple of points you two mentioned I think may actually come back to bite them. I think that they're such a young squad. In the long term, I think that inexperience will hinder them.
Can't win anything with kids, mate.
You can't. So say Graham Souness, but I think in this case, that will actually run true. I think that Bayern Munich start to gel into a Carlo Ancelotti system around Christmas, and then they will just blow the league away. As soon as they start to find the rhythm of Carlo Ancelotti, they will blow the league away. And I think that RB Leipzig's legs will only take them so far. That high risk, high reward strategy that they deploy, I think, will come back to bite them come sort of January, February, and they'll just slip away. I think they might do really well this season.
Let's not discount Nagelsmann Hoffenheim as well.
Of course, yeah, you never know.
Just as much in the hunt as Leipzig.
Oh, I don't know, I wouldn't discount
But for me, I think it's only going to be Bayern Munich. It's only going to be Bayern Munich. But what do you guys at home think? Have either Hoffenheim or RB Leipzig got what it takes to beat Bayern Munich to the Bundesliga trophy? Let us know by voting in the poll right now. Tazwa Khurshid comes in with our question next, lads. He says, if each of you were football players, whose playing style would you most resemble and which position do you guys play? And I'm going to take it off the bat. Now, I don't know if you saw that hashtag United tackle, but I am a centre half.
I don't think we spoke about it enough.
I think maybe something like Javier Mascherano, real dirty. You know, something he's got that
Ben
dirty edge to him. A bit Ben Thatcherish, but then also not afraid to just go down and win a yellow card. just roll around, have a little peek, but then equally, I just love breaking.
You're Jordi Albi, a little rat.
Yeah, just love a little crunching tackle, and then if someone gives it back, all straight down, so finger in the eye, referee. Get the cards out. That's what I'm going to have to go for. Patrick Van Straten. Now, you're a cultured player, aren't you?
Not really.
That's a lie.
Like,
bow-footed. Seen him in action.
I don't have a weak foot, but to be fairness, the other way you can put that is I don't have a strong foot. Yeah, so somebody who distributes off both feet isn't that mobile, but is a violent tackler.
Said Andy Reid.
So I'm quite a violent player. I'd say that.
Yeah, at La Masia, that poor gentleman who we were playing a rondo with.
Look, mate, he took a heavy touch, and I went through it. So he's only got himself to blame. I'm going to go for Xabi Alonso, I think. He's also got that little ginger beard, and I have a little gingerish streak to my beard.
I like that. I like that. Christopher Hamill.
I'm going to bring us back down to earth. When I captained my Sunday League side, I was known as Lee Catamok.
Oh,
make up for my total lack of vision and debatable technique by over-exerting myself in the tackle.
I like that.
Little man syndrome.
I respect that.
But yeah, maybe Scott Brown. The right manager will get a half-decent game out of me, but don't often play with the right manager.
Fair enough.
Got those Dally Blind cheekbones, don't they?
That's very nice. That's a real compliment. I think Danny Blinn's a looker.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
I think he's getting a little bit homoerotic on the end of it. He's a right little sort. But who do you think we are?
Interesting one here from Dylan Interval. This is about America, so our USA fan base, get ready, because you're in for a good 15 seconds. Patrick Van Straten, who's the best player in the MLS? I don't watch any of it.
It's Sebastian Schubinka.
Definitely.
Yeah, it clearly is. I think 31 in his last 31 games.
Wow.
It's 21 goals, 14 assists.
This guy just
unbelievable numbers. He's shooting like 6.5 times a game. He's an absolute whirlwind. You don't want to get in the way of him at the moment.
What about Beckerman with that lid?
Oh, Carl Beckerman. I love Carl Beckerman.
I don't even know who Carl Beckerman is. I thought when you first said that, I thought you said David Beckham. I thought you retired a long time ago, Chris. So MLS isn't my strong suit, but Giovinco.
Yeah, the atomic
guys. Short and sweet.
Next question from Brett King. He says, if each of you could bring back 3 football legends to play for your teams right now, who would they be and why? What a question from Brett King. I hope you're Australian, mate, because your name like Brett suits you. I'm going to go for Man United have big problems in the spine of their team. I think we need a centre half. Vidic comes straight into my team in there, replacing Christopher Smalling. Vidic and Payet at the back would be absolute beast mode. I think we need a centre mid as well, because the likes of Fellaini still getting in there somehow. So I'd take Roy Keane. We're missing some bite in the midfield, bit of Irish determination, a captain as well, a leader on the pitch. And I'm going to have to go for a right winger. I think Jesse Lingard is progressing really well, really underrated, but I would take him out and I would bring in Georgie Best. Imagine Georgie Best on one wing, Anthony Martial on the other, and Zlatan up front with Roy Keane, Pogba, and Mata in midfield. It's absolute filth, guys.
Dirt.
It's filth. Those are my three. Pato, what about you?
Right. Well, I think. Look, I like Aaron Ramsey, and when he's fit, he's a very good box-to-box midfielder. But I've got Vieira, so Vieira comes straight in, get in my team.
Pascal Sigon?
Pascal Sigon, very tempting. Senderos as well. But look, I think I'm going to go for a little-known striker called Thierry Henry.
Who the hell is that?
I reckon if you dropped him in this Arsenal team now, they win the league. I mean, he's that good.
True.
He was just an unbelievable player in his peak, and frankly after it as well. And also Nacho Monreal, I really love him as a left back, but he is getting on a little bit. So I bring back, much as I hate him because he's a piece of shit, I bring back Ashley Cole.
What a player! What a player!
Unbelievable left back.
So you bring back Ashley Cole, Vieira, and Henry.
Yeah, though I also thought about Seaman, as I do usually.
I bet you do, you dirty dog.
Got in there before you.
Christoph, who are you, mate?
Oh, mate, I could put myself in that side and we'd still win the league 10 points ahead after 10 games. But if we're going to bring back the players of yesteryear, obviously Henrik Larsson
Yesteryear.
makes me I get a little bit teary when I think about a player of Larsson's calibre playing for Celtic. We're going to bring back Henrik Larsson, we're going to bring back Billy McNeil, the captain who lifted the first European Cup a British side won. And then thirdly, mate, it's going to have to be, if we're talking about in our era, obviously I could do Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, I know who's coming.
The club's best player, but Shinsuke Nakamura.
I knew it.
That guy could open a tin of beans with his left hand. Oh my God, free kicks home and away against this lot. Absolutely loved it.
Our final question of the day actually comes from Twitter, and if you want to send your Twitter questions in, it's at Football Daily UK. This one comes from Liam Cronje. He says, who would you choose in your dream five-a-side squad?
Possibly my favourite question yet.
Yeah,
That's
possibly as
a
well.
great
Mine.
question.
I'm going to say you can pick anyone from history,
I've not
lads.
thought
Oh
it through
my
at
God.
all.
Patrick Van Straten, I want you to kick us off.
Thank
Thank God it's come to you first.
Anyone from his
Pato, come on, mate.
Okay, right. Zidane, number one.
Yeah.
Easy.
Smashed it.
Messi as well. You know, so those two are the easy ones. Then I want a guy who's good at wriggling out from under pressure, can distribute off both feet. I go for Santi Cazorla.
That's interesting.
And he's entertaining, and I think that five-a-side is about entertaining football.
It's interesting, but mad as well.
On that note, entertaining football, I could go for a decent keeper, but instead I'm going to go for Rene Higuita because he's mental, and it would be amazing.
Would be decent to watch.
Okay, so what's that? I've got 4 there, so I've got my last space.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tough. Or like Yaya Toure is very tempting because I think you want a guy who can shoot from long range. Or Cuauhtemoc Blanco. Do you remember the Mexican player?
Who the fuck is Cuauhtemoc Blanco?
He's a phenomenal dribbler.
This
Everyone
is
knows
so
who Blanco
Van
is.
Straten.
But you know what? Yeah, I'll go for Toure. Let's drop Toure.
Right, hamster. Bring us back to reality, mate.
Enough, mate. Right, from
No
the
defenders,
back,
don't be a
moving
coward.
forward. I'm going to go De Gea, great shot stopper. That's all you need in five-a-side. Defence, I'm going to go for one man and one man only. It's Lucio, the Brazilian. Absolute beast. No one would come near him. He would bite their fucking nose off, boys. Midfield, Iniesta and Xavi. All day, every day.
I like that.
Did miss those
Mate,
two.
watching the tick-tacker from
Yeah, that would be
2009
nice.
to 2015
That would be nice.
made you feel seasick with those pairs.
Yeah.
Can't pick Messi because Pat's already had him. I assume our teams are playing one another, no?
No, you can have Messi if you want to go.
So I'm going to go. How many players have I got left? One.
Probably.
Ronaldinho.
Ooh, that's
Fair
interesting.
choice.
I wouldn't have him. I'm going to go
Skinner.
for an Italian in goal. Gigi Buffon in his prime, I think, was easily the
What a
best
guy.
keeper of all
What a
time.
guy.
Can't we just have rush keepers?
No rush
What's wrong with
keepers.
that?
At the back,
Yaya Toure in goal.
I think you've forgotten him all. It's Philip Lahm. Has to be. He can play anywhere across the back. Can even play in midfield. Amazing distributor. He's so strong on the ball as well. One man in midfield. You've picked Zidane. I'm going to go Paul Scholes there because if you have seen that five-a-side goal, he scored. Absolutely mental.
Quite a big
inside
pitch
his
for
own half.
five-a-side that was.
Yeah, it was quite a big pitch. Maybe in centre side. And then going forward, it has to be Messi and Maradona. I know you've picked Messi, but Messi and Maradona in a five-a-side game is
Messi's
violent.
saying that for you and Van Straten, is it?
Yeah, why not? He's wearing bibs for me. Skinny so Van Straten.
Maradona would not turn up to
Maradona's
half
gonna-
your games, man.
Maradona's
He
shirt
coaches
to
it,
be
mate.
ripped
He
off.
need to. He
To be
wouldn't need
pinged
to.
off
He
his
could be there
nut.
for 5 minutes.
It's a good job Buffon's
We would be there
there.
for 5 minutes
No, actually,
for a heart
Lahm,
attack.
because Lahm's definitely collecting the subs on your team.
100%. But who do you think's got the best five-a-side team? Chris, Pato, or me? Obviously me. But vote in the poll right now. So that's all we've got time for on today's Sunday Vibes. I hope you're having a very chilled out Sunday. Thanks very much to Chris Hamill and Patrick Van Straten for joining me. If you want to get your questions in for next week's episode, leave them in the comments right now with the hashtag Sunday Vibes. Thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.